Call to order. Ms. Carleen, can you please conduct roll call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Jones. Mr. Adams. Mr. Garreau. Mr. Melvin. Mr. Wendell, happy birthday. Mr. Grabert. Chairman Otan.
Here.
Mrs. Chasson. Mr. Lorraine. President Chasson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carleen. So everyone is here and present tonight. If everyone would please rise, we will be led in the invocation by Councilman Grove, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Melvin.
Say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. We'd also like to remind you, if you plan on addressing the council, we do have blue forms at the door. If you just kindly fill one out and bring it up to the council clerk, we'll make sure that we recognize you during public wishing to address the council section of this meeting. With that said, we'll move right into the agenda. Item A, approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the February 23rd, 2021 regular session. So moved by Mr. Grabert, seconded by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes by a vote of 9-0. Item B, we have none, Ms. Carleen. Item C, state and our federal legislative updates. I don't see anyone in the audience. Brings us to item D, executive session. I'll entertain a motion. So moved by Mr. Wendell, seconded by Mr. Adams, to entertain executive session for the following. Number 2, LARS 4217A2, discussion regarding proposed settlement of claims pursuant to LARS 49-21421, etc., against Freeport Sulphur Company, Freeport McMoran Oil and Gas LLC, McMoran Oil and Gas LLC, Freeport McMoran Energy LLC, McMoran Exploration LLC, and Mosaic Global Holdings Incorporated. Is there any discussion on that? Anyone got any questions? If not, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 9-0 that we enter executive session. We will go into the office of OEP. And those being present in executive session will be the full council, Parish President Chasson, Mr. Cam Movin, Mr. Gerald Block, Mr. Chris Burrow, District Attorney Christine Russell, and Assistant District Attorney Lisa Ogeron. Do you also want the Parish Administrator in? And also the Parish Administrator, Mr. Mitch Ogeron.
Freezing in here.
Okay. Okay, I entertain a motion to reconvene the meeting. So moved by Mr. Wendell, second by Mr. Jones. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0, reconvene the meeting. I have a motion on the floor by Mr. Groh that no action be taken from the executive session. Can I get a second? I got a second by Mr. Wendell. Does anyone have any questions or any discussion on no action? There being none, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Thank you, everyone. And item E is action from executive session. Well, we just made the motion from for the action, so there is none. Item F, presentations and or updates. Number 3, Parish President to recognize the Lafourche Parish Government Employee of the Month and or WOW Employee for the month of February. Mr. President, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have the great pleasure of tonight of presenting our Employee of the Month award to Ms. Cheryl Boudreau. In her nomination, it was said that she's a great asset to the Buildings and Maintenance Department. She does a great job at assisting the day-to-day operations. She always displays a pleasant attitude daily and is willing to help with whoever needs it. She never hesitates to step up in the absence of her supervisor to keep up the day-to-day operations flowing smoothly. She's pleasant to work with and has made the transition of becoming Public Facilities Manager much easier. And I know as Leon stepped up in that position after we lost Chris, Cheryl and her historical knowledge has been a great asset to him and us as we came in as a new administration. So congratulations, Ms. Cheryl.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you, and congratulations. Item 4, presentations by Jimmy Nguyen of the Small Business Development Center, SBDC, and Dr. Marilyn Masick, Fry of Nicholls State University regarding the SBDC program. Y'all can come up to the podium. If you don't mind, just state your name and address for the record. Mr. President.
Mr. Chairman, as a precursor to Dr. Fry and Mr. Nguyen, a meeting or two ago, we had approved a cooperative endeavor agreement, giving about $37,000 to the Small Business Development Center. And Councilman Grow had asked kind of their background and what they did, and we tried to explain it really well. We probably didn't do as good a job as they're about to, so we invited them to come give a brief presentation about what they do and where that money goes. So Dr. Fry, thanks for being here.
Very good, thank you.
My name is Marilyn Masick Fry, and I live at 506 Edgewood Drive in Tisdale.
Yeah. Sorry.
The button? There we go. I'll say that again. I'm Marilyn Masick Fry, and I live at 506 Edgewood Drive in Thibodeau. And I am the Dean in the College of Business, and the Small Business Development Center has been in the College of Business for years. If some of you remember Dr. Ridley Grow, who was the Dean in the college for years, he started this relationship years and years ago, and we have maintained it over the years. They provide free services to small businesses, and Jimmy and Suzanne are going to provide or give you a lot more information than I can. I just wanted to kind of explain the relationship. They are employees of Nicholls, and they operate under the College of Business, but they are grant funded. So they are federal grant from the SBA, state grants from LED, and then local grants, which, thank you, that's one of the reasons I'm here, is to thank you for Lafourche Parish helping to support the Small Business Development Center. And Jimmy is the assistant director. We're a satellite operation out of Lafayette. We used to be out of New Orleans. But we're kind of this oddball, so we operate very independently as a satellite because we're not close to either of those big regionals. So Jimmy really operates as a director, so he's very independent. But under his leadership, he has done some fantastic things. He's going to tell you about some pitch competitions, some relationships with Chevron, and I hope that you will see the value that they add, and I'm just going to turn it over to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fry. So we're going to start off and let you know a little bit about the Louisiana Small Business
If you
Development.
don't, Miss Susan, if you
Oh, I
don't
am
mind,
so
just state your
sorry.
name and address for that, just so that we have it on record.
Sure,
We know who's talking.
Suzanne Nolfo Carlos. I live at 4801 Highway 311 in Houma. All right, thank you. So we are a partnership program that provides small businesses, whether they're a startup business or an existing business, we provide them with one-on-one consulting. We help them expand their business. We help them do their business plans, et cetera. All of this, the consulting that we do is at no charge to the small businesses. We do also provide a lot of training for our small businesses, and most of that is no cost. Some of it is at a little bit of a cost. It depends on whether or not we have an outside speaker coming in. But when we do it, it's no cost. And right now, most of the sessions are online so that participants can participate from wherever they live. Okay? We are a nationally accredited program, and we began in Louisiana in 1983. So we have 9 different locations that service all 64 of the parishes of Louisiana. You'll see we are located in Region 3, which encompasses Terrebonne, Lafourche, and Assumption. We do have a little bit of spillover into St. Mary's Parish, although that is Lafayette's region, and a little bit of spillover into the New Orleans region, you'll see with St. James, St. John, and St. Charles. It depends on if the clients have to travel farther to get to their regional location, as opposed to being able to travel just to Nicholls. So we are located on the campus of Nicholls, and it's actually at 155 Shaver Gym. We're in the back area. You access it through the quad. And right now, we have a brand new sign that's in that greeny grass area to the left, so that says Small Business Development Center. So we're a little bit easier to find now, which is nice. We have new signs here that direct them to our door. We have a lot of different services. Like I said earlier, we help businesses with developing their business plans. We help them develop financial projections, help them develop their marketing plans, work with them on management, how to run their business. We also have a very good research center that we're able to access industry data and competitive information, also demographics for their marketing plans, et cetera. So, for 2020 in Louisiana, despite this pandemic that we were in, across Louisiana, the small business development centers were able to assist in opening 146 new businesses, which created 2,000 additional jobs, not only with the new businesses, but with some business expansions. Had an increase in sales of $18.5 million across Louisiana, which injected into our economy. We did over 15,000 consulting hours. These are one-on-one with individual businesses, and with an injection of $100.2 million in capitalization into Louisiana's economic environment. So, what we were able to do in 2020 as far as Lafourche Parish concerns and Lafourche numbers. Now keep in mind, I only started with this in this past July 2020, whereas the first part of July 2020, Jimmy was by himself, okay? So in 2020, despite the pandemic, we were able to help with $708,525 in capital infused into businesses. We assisted 150 clients. We had 5 business starts, created 33 additional jobs, and with an aggregated increase in sales of $1.2 million. So we're really looking forward to our 2021 statistics for Lafourche Parish, with the 2 of us working full-time. Okay, Jimmy? Thank you very much.
I'm Jimmy Wynn, and I'm homeless. 3012 Creole Tribe, Houma, Louisiana. Oh, it's kind of short. It's dangerous to give me a mic. Asian people like karaoke, so I usually sing.
Yeah, governor doesn't allow karaoke right now. No karaoke.
I can start it off. All right, specifically what we do, I'll go into further details. So we do one-on-one advising. We also do training programs and classes, which I'll give you a lot of cool pictures. Access to capital, which is a lot of entrepreneurs have trouble with. That's one of our specialties. I help a lot of people get business get money for their businesses. And that's why I earned my nickname. They call me the money man, because I help a lot of people get financing for their business, help them find the money. And also, finance is my expertise, because you know all Asian people are good at math. That's kind of my thing. So one of the main things we do is business corporation. We go from start to finish. We go to the GoBiz website, help them set up their LLC, and they don't have to waste money with LegalZoom or going through those other resources. We do it all for free. And then we go to the next steps. IRS.gov, get that tax ID number. What kind of license or permits? The entire process to properly start your business. Also, market research. We have a research facility, thousands of dollars worth of research, where we can provide for free to our clients. Anything from competitive analysis to benchmarking to sample business plans, you name it. Government contracts. We help a lot of clients procure government contracts. The entire process, from the DUNS number, SAMs, certifications, finding opportunities online to big federal procurement opportunities. So we have a lot of connections. For example, when they were doing renovations with the New Orleans airport, they'll let us know, they notify us. We send our clients out there to get first dibs. We prepare them. How do you do a capability statement, get it together, and get these opportunities? We have a partnership with NASA called Rocketing Your Revenue. This is pre-pandemic. In New Orleans, I send my clients out there, and there's big $1 million contracts. Prepare them to get out there to get these contract opportunities. Also, NASA lets us know when they have opportunities around the surrounding areas, like in Gulfport, Mississippi. They give us a notification. I send my clients out there, capture the opportunities, get some big contracts. We also help with social media marketing, help with their campaigns. Any platform, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, we help them out there. Next is workshops and trainings. These are samples, anything from QuickBooks to digital marketing. Cybersecurity summit's a big thing because everyone's going digital and everyone's getting hacked. So we help prevent that by educating them. We have a big cybersecurity summit out at Nicholls State University. Also, we have a very important tax preparers workshop. Once a year, we invite representatives from IRS and Louisiana Department of Revenue to come down to our region and update our local accountants and CPAs. Also, business certifications with government contracts. And on the right side is our regular rotation. Anything, the basics from starting your business to crafting a business plan to financing, help them increase their credit scores, what kind of grant opportunities they have, and what kind of lenders. And a lot more. We also do classes by request. So if you have any demand or any need, contact us, and we can do custom classes. For example, I customize a lot of classes for home on Main Street because a lot of downtown businesses are struggling. So they reached out to me, and I taught them that you have to educate them. For example, we did marketing for the holidays. Holiday season, you can get enough revenue to sustain you for months, even the whole year. So we did a special class on that. Also, you got to retain your customers. Great customer service is a must, so we did a custom class on that. And in response to COVID, we did business resiliency planning, how to prepare for COVID. So how to talk to your vendors, how to communicate with your customers, having your employees work virtually. We go over all aspects of that. So custom classes we can do for you as well. So how you access our classes, go to www.louisianaspdc.org. Hit the training tab right there, it all pops up. Register for them. All the classes are free, and they're all virtual right now. So anyone can just log on, register for a class, you should be good to go. Example of some of the classes, QuickBooks. We do a lot of QuickBooks classes. This is at Fletcher. We have a CPA come and teach entrepreneurs how to run their QuickBooks, how to manage it, do it correctly. Marketing for the holidays is a very important class. This is at the Terrebonne Folklife Culture Center downtown. So they gathered all of the downtown businesses together, and we taught them how to market for the holidays. And this specifically is for Small Business Saturday. If you're not familiar with it, it's the Saturday after Black Friday. Very important day, and it's in partnership with American Express. They actually give us a bunch of free stuff. They give us this entire big box with signs, tote bags, pens, balloons. They can decorate, they can give out these things to make it a big event. We hand it out individually to all of our clients. That's a big must right there. Also recently, we helped the Chamber in Terrebonne do the Chamber pop-up shop. So they have a lot of home-based businesses, they don't have facilities. So we set up about 11 businesses inside the Chamber, and we did a pop-up shop. The best seller right up there is the Saints gift baskets. We had a guy outside selling barbecue, to dolls, all kinds of good stuff. Then we also have a partnership with Google called Grow with Google Louisiana, where someone from Google actually teaches. Run a live stream, someone from Google headquarters teaches people how to use Google. The best thing of all, they give us free stuff as well. We got a giant bag with tote bags, free pens, scratch pads. One had a voucher for a $100 Google ad coupon they gave to us. And the best thing of all to share with us was within their database. I found out something very important. There's something called Singles Day. So 11/11 overseas, this is the biggest holiday, bigger than Valentine's Day. So you can promote Singles Day, and you should be good. So on 11/11 now, I always treat myself to something good, because Singles Day, I deserve it. Next thing is our cryptocurrency symposium, cybersecurity. We did this at Nicholls. This is the last one. We not only spoke about cybersecurity, but we covered cryptocurrency as well. You see this whole auditorium filled with students, teachers, entrepreneurs, taught them how to not be hacked and also make money at the same time. We had very, very credible speakers. We had one guy that used to work at Microsoft, and then also a guy that worked with the FBI. So he told us stories of how he solved these crimes, breaking into rooms and finding $1 million in cash on the table. It's very entertaining. So it was good. Best thing of all, free pizza. Got sponsors to give us free pizza. Got a whole box of myself. Government contracting. I actually invite representatives from the SBA to come down to our region and announce these opportunities to our local entrepreneurs. So they show them how to get those opportunities, how to prepare for them, and capture them. And also, we try to be inclusive of our minorities. So there used to be a language barrier. So the way to overcome that is just do a whole class in their language. So I did an entire Spanish class, all business class, all in Spanish. So this is Charla Impresario, hope I said it right. I was in a class, and I had no idea what they're talking about. They were calling me El Jefe. I thought that was the equivalent of Jimmy, but I found out that was stand for the boss. So they were very appreciative of me putting that together. They called me the boss. And I walked out, and I understand Spanish now from my kindergarten level. I can communicate now, so that's pretty good. We also celebrate our women-owned businesses. We have a womenpreneurship conference every year. And the best segment is we invite our most successful women to come up on stage and speak, share their stories, how they overcome their hardships, It's real inspiring. I even walked away, feeling like an empowered, strong, independent woman when I was there. So I heard the stories to help me out. And we have a lot of partners, people from the SBA, LED, Urban League, PTAC, Good Work Network, WBC, they all came down to Houma. This is at the Dewey Auditorium. And we had a room next door where we set up booths. So the best thing is we connected all these females together, connected them, created a network to support one another. So we do this once a year. Third thing, the best thing of all, number one service, access to capital, the best. And what we do is we start from the beginning. What is your credit score to qualify for these loans? I help people improve their credit scores. To identifying the right lender, to the project costs, we help craft a business plan, to financial forecasting. So how many customers you need to see to be profitable? What is your break-even point? We cover all that. We help them fill out the loan application, supporting documentation, and much more. So what I say is we really deliver when it comes to access to capital. Also, that's from the lending side. If it doesn't work, we have alternative funding resources. I always help them find the money. That's why I'm the money man. So anything from the promissory note to finding angel investors to tapping into 401ks to crowdfunding. We have all kinds of methods to help them get that access to capital. Also, I help my clients find grants. Anything from $500 to $6,000. There's a bunch of opportunities out there that they notify us, and we let our entrepreneurs know. Grant competitions. We also find those help prepare our clients, help them win some money. Anything from $15,000 to $300,000. But the one I want to highlight is the one we have locally here called the Bayou Region Pitch Competition, where sometime in November, we're going to give over $50,000 to the local entrepreneurs here. So this is a picture of the last one we had. We're holding 2 rounds. So we have a round for startups with the smaller prizes up to $5,000. And we have a second round for the existing businesses where they can win up to $15,000. Actually, both of the winners are from Thibodeau. On the left side is 3D Media, a virtual reality company here. They won $15,000 first prize. I made them that championship belt from a belt I found in my room. And on the right side is $5,000 for Creative Cajun, a healthy meal prep company. So that's our last one pre-pandemic. It turned out really well, and we're setting up our new one right now. So here's the rules. Open to all currently enrolled Nichols and Fletcher students. Non-students must be in Lafourche, Terrebonne, St. Mary, Assumption, because we're trying to keep this money local. They must attend one of our business plan workshops, and they have to submit a business plan. We'll select the best ones, top 10, and they'll go on to pitch. And last one we did was virtual due to the pandemic. So what we did, we gave out $5,000 to 8 different businesses through a virtual pitch competition to keep them afloat through the pandemic. And 3 of these winners are actually in Thibodeau. We have Big Mike's Barbecue, White Car Marketing, and the Cove event venue. And Chevron gave us money, and they also fund the pitch competition as well. And client successes, a lot of our clients win the Bayou's Best. Best Yoga Studios, Root to Rise, one of my clients. Best Burger in Town, Ground Patties, one of ours. Big Mike's is one of our clients. The Swamp Trampoline Park, so we got the best of the best. So I want to close by thank you for your support. And thanks to you, we can provide this service 100% free of charge to help build the community. And we're all about small business growth. And this is where you fit in. You're the missing piece to the puzzle as you on, and you should help us build our ecosystem. And any questions? My dog dressed as a pirate. He was cheering for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was happy.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Jimmy. Anyone has any questions? Bo Melvin?
Yeah, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. This is great. I know Baton Rouge used to have something like this. I don't know if it was called Star something or whatever, but
Score.
Score. That's it.
Our competitor. I'll destroy
Yeah.
him.
Well, I'm just saying, I remember them had something, but this is great. And I guess I can link this to our Facebook or something.
Yep, definitely. We have a Facebook page. And
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you once again, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
I can leave this here.
Yeah. Okay, that ends presentations. We'll move item G, Legal Advisor Report. I don't think we have any. Item H, Engineers Architect Reports, and we do have one left in the audience.
Good evening, gentlemen. John Plaisance with GIS Engineering, 16878 West Main Street. The project I have to talk to you all about tonight is the drainage improvements along West 55th Street and Cutoff. We took bids on that about a week and a half ago. The bids came in at $159,000 and some change. The estimate was $165,000, so it was in budget. We've presented that information to staff, and it should be on your next agenda.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you very much.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank you.
that. Any other engineers, architects? Okay, there being none, we'll move to item I, public wishing to address the council, public hearings, agenda items, et cetera. Do you have anyone?
Yes, sir.
Just the one for that. when
Just
we
the
get
one
to
that
it.
was read earlier. That will be read later.
Okay, item J, ordinances for discussion and ratification. Number 5, ordinance accepting the subdivision known as Cairo Estates of Bayou Phase 6 into the parish system. J. Wendell, Federal Administration, defer from the 2/23/21 LPC meeting. Public hearing was held at the 2/23/21 LPC meeting, so we don't have to have another hearing. So we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Wendell. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on this ordinance? Jim, I know we have a submitted letter on this one. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you want to go ahead and read that?
Okay, this is from RJ Developments LLC from Central Louisiana. It's dated March 8, 2021 to Lafourche Parish Council. It says, I appreciate the opportunity to address the council in reference to the last meeting's item number 4 concerning Cairo Estates of Bayou Phase 6. I've personally inspected and discussed with the contractor the list of items presented by Mr. Wendell. Prior to the discussion, I had voiced my concern that although the turnaround at the end of Mateo Drive was built according to plan and accepted by the parish, I questioned if it was going to be difficult for buses or large vehicles such as fire trucks to turn easily. Due to the electrical company breaking the forced main line, it had to be dug up and repaired and at least required some more limestone. I contacted Mr. Milford, the engineer for Phase 6, and had him draw an enlargement to the length and width of the turnaround. That work will be done as soon as weather permits and will be completed before any homes are occupied. The contractor will also remove all grates from the catch basins, clean them, and replace them. Next, about the speed limit signs. The one in the rear is on the correct side of the street. The one in the front was installed on the left because there are no poles on the right side. There were no speed limit signs called for on the plans that were accepted. However, I noticed and took it upon myself to order oversized signs to be sure they will be able to be noticed. If required, I can have a pole put on the right side of the street, but it's very noticeable as is. Upon a thorough inspection, I found that there were cracks on the curbs and catch basins. I've spoken with the contractor, and we aren't sure why these occurred, but there has not been any heavy traffic other than the electric company when they were installing electric service. There's not been any concrete trucks, lumber trucks, or dumpsters in there yet. However, as stated by Mr. Chasson, there is a 2-year guarantee, which is guaranteed to me by the contractor, and I guarantee it to the parish backed by a bond. We believe that fixing these cracked areas now would only have it done again at the end of the 2-year period after home construction is completed. In reference to the damages noted in other phases of the subdivision, Phase 1 and 2 were built in 2012 and completed in 2013. Phase 3 was completed in early 15, and Phase 4 was completed in early 16. In that period of time, there were over 100 homes built. There have been cement trucks, lumber trucks, trash container, brick trucks, utility company trucks, and many more that were necessary for the 12 to 15 builders that built homes there to get their job done over the past 5 to 8 years. If any repairs were done after the 2-year period, I am not aware of any. To believe that these damages listed were done by the recent construction of Phase 6 is not realistic. I appreciate the opportunity to respond, as always, and am willing to listen to comments, suggestions, and do the best possible to resolve issues and avoid new ones. I'm available to discuss any suggestions or recommendations, but I've always built subdivisions according to the parish specifications and continue to be committed to do so. And that was submitted by Mr. Jerry J. Cairo of RJ Developments, LLC.
Thank you, Jim. Does anyone else from the public like to comment on item 5? One time, 2 times, last call for the public. Now we'll move it to the council. Does the administration have anything they want to say on this one? Before we move it to a vote?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Dylan and Aaron walked this site yesterday, made some notes of some things, so we know what needs to be repaired. I don't think, again, there's anything that stops us from accepting the subdivision tonight. I know Jim had a couple of pictures. I don't know when you're going to do that, Jim, but right now. But, you know, if, again, I think we've talked this with Councilman Wendell. I think everybody's comfortable with accepting it. We're just gonna have to make sure we keep, you know, our nose to the grindstone and make sure that we catch anything that pops up within that 2-year period so they can be held accountable for it.
Very good. Thank you. So, Jim, you have some new information from the last meeting?
This is actually a rebuttal to the letter.
Okay.
Since he's
You
not
have
here
the
in
floor.
person. At the bottom, the last sentence of paragraph number 4, it says, to believe that these damages listed were done by the recent construction of Phase 6 is not realistic. This is an intersection where 3 of the 4 curbs in the curve are damaged. If you look At the left picture, this is the first one that was reported to me, which is how I got involved. You can see all the mud and skids from all the construction stuff. But if you look at the same curb taken the other day, you can see that the green one circled is the original one, and there's another one busted out. Robbie, you want to go to the next one? This is, now this is just some general photos, and I'm not going to be long, y'all. I'll be 3 minutes. I got somewhere to go. But this is how, this is the realistic portion of how the subdivision is being busted. You can see there's a 48, 53-foot, drop deck with a triaxle truck, a big sleeper, and he's trying to make that turn. So I just took some snapshots from a video because I have 25 minutes of video of this guy trying to turn. And in the video, you can actually see the low boy scrape the curb and the gray little puff of smoke come up. So I do believe it's realistic for the damages to be occurred by what's going on now. So this is an area that's already been accepted, so I guess it's on us if we don't pursue them to do it. But it is highly realistic that they are the ones doing the damage. You can see the size of the truck, the size of the intersection. Here's another one. If you look at the truck trying to turn around, and that's phase 6 right there. So this is actually a different phase number, but you can see the truck, not only over the curb, but in the yard. You can see them almost going over the sidewalk on this one. This is another 15, 20-minute video of a truck trying to turn around and crushing all the curbs in that general area. I have several hours of video, several hundred pictures, because all these houses have cameras on them. So there was even one truck that towards the front went into the yard to turn, to make these turns, jump the curb like the truck at the bottom. And, well, this is all the same truck trying to do the same thing. But it busted the water line in the yard. So I think it's very realistic of tearing it up as you go and as you progress. All right, Rob. It was said in there in paragraph 3 that there hadn't been heavy equipment, there hadn't been dumpsters or anything back there. This is the same intersection. You can actually see the concrete on top of the catch basin because it's already been busted, but you can see all the big trucks as they're turning, all their tires. We're putting some trucks that are probably the length of the property, if not a property and a half. You can see the dumpsters against the curbs over there, and this was moved down the street as it went, bumped. It's not one of the huge dumpsters, the roll-offs that we usually have, but it's pretty much the same principle. All right, Robin. And here's just another thing. You see the truck trailer is as big as the house, long as the whole lot. And this is what we have going down these narrow streets. So once again, to go back to the realistic part of, do you really think it's doing the damage? I really do, because I have the complaints, the emails, the photos, the videos, everything of it getting torn up as the phase 6 has progressed. So that's just a rebuttal to the comments made in the letter. Other than that, I have no objection because we agreed that the parish looked at it. What was going to be fixed by RJ Developments is going to be repaired in the time that it needs to be, and what's already expired, we're going to get the parish to do. So I don't have any other objection or comment or anything else.
Thank you, Jim. Would anyone else like to comment on this? If not, we're going to move this to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by a vote of 9-0. Item K, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. I entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Gross, second by Mr. Melvin. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 6, ordinance providing for a 2021 supplemental appropriation 21-006 within the 2021 operations and maintenance budget to cover the cost for a summer youth golf camp at Lafourche Golf Club and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. So moved by Mr. Winther for the administration. Got a second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on ordinance number 6? One time, two times, three times. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm pretty excited about this project. We've been working on it with Lafourche, Ms. Benoit at the Wallace Center, Jonathan Terrell, and a group from High Five, which is kind of the Beyond the Bell program we have in Raceland and Thibodaux. This is going to be a golf camp. It'll be 2 one-week sessions at Lafourche with their pros, some of the golf team from Nichols, and a few of the surrounding pros from the golf courses. It will be 25 spots per week. 12 of those spots will be mandated for low to mod income kids that we're going to pull from High Five and the Wallace Center. Heather, who runs the Wallace Center program, has already, if you guys remember, we approved a donation from Ms. Charlene at Council on Aging for those 2 buses. She is working on her chauffeur's license to be able to transport these kids back and forth, so transportation won't be an issue. And then the remaining 13 spots will be open for the general public for ages about 7 through 17. We're working on the final marketing items with Latour, High Five, and Heather. But it'll be a really cool program. We do a lot of cool things during the summer for kids, but we've never focused on this particular sport. We always focus on t-ball and soccer. So this will be hopefully the beginning of a good partnership with Latour, where we can do some great things for some kids who would not otherwise have access to stuff like this.
Very good. Anyone else have any questions? Mr. Grove?
You know, you answered a good bit of them. I appreciate that. But, and I think by answering them, you give me some ideas, some other things. So are we looking at doing like basketball camps and things like that? I mean, and because, golf's an expensive sport, you know, and, we have that nice gym, and I think I think it's a great thing we're doing this, but, I didn't know if that was a model we're gonna start looking into, because it is tough to sign your kid up for softball and dedicate that whole time to the whole summer, but a week camp in basketball might make that kid inclined to go out for bidding next year or something like that, you know.
So one of the good things that Becky and the Reg District and Lockport have done with the community centers, they brought in other things, your basketball footstall, which was an indoor soccer camp. So we're looking at those type of things and how we extrapolate that throughout the parish for next year. This was something that we came up with a few months ago in talking with some folks at Latour and some folks from ES&H. Trade bought Latour a year or so ago. So we are looking at that. We actually have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow with Superintendent Jared Martin. So the school board is doing something a little bit different, where the schools are going to remain open over the month of June, not going to be required for students to go. So we're looking at doing some recreation partnerships with them between the rec districts and the parish. So we're going to begin those discussions with Superintendent Martin tomorrow as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different camps through the month of June at the middle schools, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, that we're going to be able to partner with them, with the people that we hire. And then one of the other cool things about this is that we've started to work on some local community leaders. So Latour has a few sets of youth golf clubs. We know these kids probably aren't going to have access to that either. So our plan is to raise about $1,000. We've already managed to raise about 500 of that. So we can go buy some youth golf sets that then we can send back to the Wallace Center and High Five, so they can do this on their own property after. So it'd be something they can continue to work on. And I got to give, I stole this from Councilman Jones, who years ago wanted to do a putt-putt golf course in Thibodeau. So we're gonna try to work to help him with that as well.
Very good. Mr. Thibault?
How about kids that can't play sports?
Esports he's talking about.
Yeah, how about esports? Let's have a conversation. Yeah, Nichols has an esports team. So, I mean, a lot of kids, you know, wheelchairs or have disabilities. It's an option for them to be competitive and something to look at, too.
Yeah, and I agree, and that is something I'm gonna take with the new center, because it is a very good idea. Mr. Grabbear?
Yeah, Archie, you might want to ask for donations of old golf clubs and things of that sort. I know someone that repairs them and custom makes them for the children, so he may be interested in doing something like that if we can get some donations.
Perfect. I'll get that contact for you. We'll reach out to you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Grabbear. Mr. Grove?
Will there be a charge for the other 12 that are not in those programs? So it's gonna
No,
be
so this
free?
is fully funded by us, and this includes, it'll be from about 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, includes all their snacks, their lunch, everything.
Thank you.
That's a lot of person. I mean, give them an outfit.
All right. Okay, very good. Is there any further discussion on item 6? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by a vote of 9-0. Item 7, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6447 that approved an active donation between Lafourche Parish Drainage District Number 1 and Lafourche Parish Government for the donation of 2 John Deere 6110M tractors, 1 60-inch Tiger side rotary mower, and 1 50-inch Tiger Bingo Series mid-mount hydraulic rotary boom mower, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Ms. Boudreaux will move on behalf of the administration. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion from the public on item 7? 1 time, 2 time, last call for public, 3 times. Anyone from the council? Mr. Lorraine.
Yeah, I see we're rescinding this. About 4 or 5 meetings ago, Archie, did you get the opinion from the Attorney General like you said you were going to get?
So we didn't,
Mr. Lorraine.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. We didn't have to go to the Attorney General. We got an opinion from the DA that basically said that you can take equipment between districts. It doesn't, as long as it's not really sweeping there, right? We can move stuff around, so when a tractor breaks, I can take the low boy from Road A and go pick it up, and we could take a tractor if we wanted to. So what we did, and we kind of, you know, we managed to do this last meeting, was rework the agreement with the drainage district where instead of them buying the equipment and providing it to us, which would be prohibited, they can't just give us a piece of equipment. We reworked the cooperative endeavor agreement where they gave us the funding and we physically issued the purchase order and purchased the equipment.
The whole issue is you can't take money from a taxing district and use it somewhere else.
And we're not.
That's the bottom line. And I see you got something else further down, so that's fine. You know?
Okay, any further discussion? Everybody know, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes by a vote of 9-0. I entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Melvin, second by Mr. Groh. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item L, proposed ordinances. Mr. Wendell.
Yes, sir, I have three. Item number 8, proposed ordinance providing for the 2021 supplemental appropriation 21-001 within the 2021 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget. The budget for funds collected from the drainage district number 1 to purchase 2 tractors and 2 mowers, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter by Mr. Otan for administration. Number 9, proposed ordinance providing for a 2021 supplemental appropriation 21-007 within the 2021 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget, increasing the budget for various projects and de-obligating completed projects, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter by Mr. Jones on behalf of administration. Item number 10, proposed ordinance amending ordinance number 6437, which adopted the 2021 operations and maintenance and capital budget for the Lafourche Parish Council, as well as setting the salaries of unclassified employees as provided for by Article 5 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter by Mr. Jones for administration.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Jim. Item M, resolutions. Item 11 has been pulled by the administration. Is that correct, Archie?
Yes, sir. It's going to be on the next agenda.
Thank you. Item 12, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and High Tide Consultants, LLC, for engineering services for the project titled Landry Lane Bridge Replacement, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Adams for the administration. I got a second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 13, resolution supporting a grant application by the South Lafourche Levy District for the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development, Louisiana Watershed Initiative Round 1 funding, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chesson for the administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we're going to have a couple of these on the agenda tonight supporting our projects that we submitted. But we added this one on there, so we're contributing $5 million of the parish's bonded Go Mesa money that was done at the end of 2019. So we're helping Wendell chase the other $5 million through the Watershed Initiative. So it's really to our benefit as well, so we're trying to help him out.
Great, it grows, that's great. Okay, with that said, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 14, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and GIS Engineering, LLC, for professional engineering and design services for the Grand Bayou Freshwater Reintroduction Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Ms. Chesson will move on my behalf of the administration. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Grauberry. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 15, resolution approving change order number 1 for the project titled Alidor Drainage Improvements Project, Phase 1, increasing the contract price by $3,850 and adding 13 additional days to the contract time, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Grauberry for the administration. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 16, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Bayou Civic Club, La Rolle Civic Center, to provide funding for the replacement of equipment, improvements, repairs, and operations, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chesson for the administration. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Melvin. Any discussion? Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So if you guys remember, toward the end of last year, the beginning of 2021, we did a supplemental to give the Bayou Civic Club $90,000 to help, just as we do during a typical budget year. So this is a cooperative endeavor to allow them to actually spend that money.
Thank you, Mr. President. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 17, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and the Fire Protection District Number 3 for the donation of radios and accessories, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chesson for the administration. Got a second by Mr. Graber. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 18, resolution approving Lafourche Parish Government to advertise for bids for the project titled East Side Drainage Improvements, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chesson for the administration. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine.
I just want to let the council know that this project's been going on for 18 years.
And it's item 18.
And there's two people you can personally thank, and that was Mr. Albert Guidry, who happens to be deceased, and Senator Reggie Dupree when he was a senator. They jumped on that, and it's 18 years. So whoever gets it done, I guess, is going to get the credit for it.
Very good. Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 19, resolution appointing one member on the Sewers District Number 7 Board. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
Mr. Aaron LeBlanc.
Mr. LeBlanc. Can I get a second for Mr. LeBlanc? Second by Mr. Grove. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 20, resolution appointing one member to the Recreation District Number 2 Board. Mr. Graber for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Graber? Mr. Acosta. Can I get a second for Mr. Acosta? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? Mr. Wendell, you got a discussion?
Oh, no.
No, okay, I'm sorry. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 21, resolution appointing one member to the Lafourche Parish Commission for Women Board. Mr. Wendell for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Wendell?
One vacancy, one applicant, Ms. Brooklyn Hawkins.
Ms. Hawkins. Can I get a second for Ms. Hawkins? Second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 22, resolution appointing one member on the Lafourche Parish Animal Shelter Advisory Board representing Council District 1. Mr. Jones for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Jones?
Major Jeremy Granier.
Mr. Granier. Can I get a second for Mr. Granier? Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 23, resolution appointing one member to the Hospital Service District Number 1 Board. Ms. Chesson for the administration. Who do you have, Ms. Chesson?
Mr. Mickey Navarre.
Second by Mr. Graber. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor.
Was there only one applicant or? One applicant, okay.
Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 24, resolution approving the submittal of a Community Development Block Grant, Cdbg, application for funding from the Louisiana Watershed Initiative, Round 1, for the project titled Lafourche Parish Elevation of At-Risk and Flood-Prone Structures, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 25, resolution approving the submittal of a Community Development Block Grant, Cdbg, application for funding from the Louisiana Watershed Initiative, Round 1, for the project titled Lafourche Parish New Pump Station Construction, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Melvin for the administration. Can I get a second? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item 26, resolution approving the submittal of a Community Development Block Grant, Cdbg, application for funding from the Louisiana Watershed Initiative, Round 1, for the project titled Lafourche Parish Emergency Backup Pumps for all Lafourche Parish pump stations, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Ms. Chesson, will you move on my behalf for the administration? Got a second by Mr. Graber. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Item N, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers Report Presentations and or Updates. Number 27, Department of Public Works Representative to present a report. Mr. Dillon, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, and good evening. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm sorry. District 1, Ridgefield Road, repair potholes. Talbot Avenue, repaired shoulder. Moving to District 2, Chack Bay North Levee, clean levee canal. Greenwood Place, remove collapsed landscape culvert. Lejean Pump Station, changed engine. Sugar Ridge West, swept drainage canal. Waverly Road, repaired slide. Moving to District 3, Highway 3185, the long-awaited installed unmuffled compression brakes prohibited sign. Park Drive, replace cross culvert. Also Park Drive, dug roadside ditches. West Camellia, replace cross culvert. Moving to District 4, David Drive, replace cross culvert. Pier 4A right-of-way, swept outfall. St. Charles Bypass Road, replace driveway culvert. Also St. Charles Bypass Road, swept roadside ditches. Wilson Street outfall, swept outfall. Moving to District 5, Azalea Street, replace driveway culvert. Blue Ridge Drive, swept roadside ditches. Central Street, swept roadside ditches. Main Street outfall, swept outfall. Oh, Lord. Sorry about that. Roberts Drive, installed driveway culvert. Moving to District 6, Hospital Drive, swept roadside ditches. Clean culverts and catch basins. Amphiri A. La Coco, swept roadside ditches. St. Anthony Street, swept roadside ditches. St. Louis Street, swept roadside ditches. Moving to District 7, this is the Caffrey outfall, swept outfall. Eunice Alamo Pump Station, clean vegetation from the pump station. The T-Bois Bridge, clean bridge and remove rust. They're also repainting this bridge. Now this isn't a full revamp, this is just some spot areas that are getting bad. Karen Drive, remove landscape culvert. Moving to District 8 on East 23rd Street, replace collapsed driveway culvert. East 25th Place, remove collapsed landscape culvert. East 25th Place, swept roadside ditches. Also East 25th Place, clean culverts. East 67th Street, replace collapsed driveway culvert. West 23rd at Highway 3235, swept roadside ditches. West 41st Street, swept roadside ditches. Moving to District 9, East 93rd Street, replace collapsed cross culvert. East 97th Street outfall, shred trees on the outfall. East 115th Street, cut trees. East 138th Street, swept roadside ditches. Golden Meadow boat launch, replace broken board. West 159th and West 161st Street outfall, swept outfall. And West 214th Street, swept roadside ditches. and that is it. As you can see on the agenda, we've been working in the DPW office pretty hard on these grant applications. Also, as you notice on this presentation, a lot of our DPW officers have been working real hard on getting ready for the rainy season. We've been getting the tractors up and ready, getting ready to cut grass, because that's about to start growing. And we've been opening up as many outfalls as we can to get ready for the rain. Any questions?
Thank you, Dylan. Any questions? Mr. Adams?
Yeah, I don't have a question. I have a suggestion. The ditches down Choctaw Road are getting very grassy. I think we should be able to go out there and kind of spray them. It'd be really nice.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, T-Boo. Any further questions for Dylan? Mr. Lorraine?
Yeah, since the hurricane, you familiar with the lights on the Leeville Bridge? Foosh, Leeville Bridge, whatever you wanna.
Yes, sir.
So, the ones that are gone were never replaced, so you know anything about it? I'm just.
Yeah, so, Mr. Mark that works for us, he's been in contact with the state, and correct me if I'm wrong, Archie, but the state's gotta go out there and inspect the pedestals, and once they're inspected, we can order new lights and put them up again. There are some lights that are still left, but they don't believe we'll be able to use them. As far as I understand, it's in limbo, waiting to hear back from the state at this point. We have put some temporary lighting in the corner, in the dangerous
Yeah.
areas, to help out, but nothing permanent yet.
But the state's paying for all that, then they turn it over to the parish?
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Mr. President.
Yeah, so that's the other complication of this issue, right, is that it's gonna be a FEMA claim. So it's gonna take a little bit longer than I think what any of us are gonna like, because we're gonna have to wait for the FEMA reimbursements, to get approved so we can actually order them. Because what I don't wanna have happen is we go drop a jump ton of money on these lights, and then FEMA comes back and says, oh, yeah, no, we're not paying for it either. So,
But when all this got started, the state paid for everything.
Yep.
And they turned it over to the parish, just like they do a bridge.
yeah, and it's ours. Mark's been working really hard with DOTD to actually, the pedestals are still theirs, all the electrical stuff. So as long as we can get power to them, we're gonna be okay.
Right. Okay. That's all I got on that one.
Thank you, Mr. Lorraine. Mr. Melvin?
Yes, sir. Dylan, thank you. Real quick, haven't heard anything on Cyprian. Is everything running now? Oh, no, I don't
Okay,
like
does
all
anybody
that.
want to answer this, or y'all want to
Yeah,
defer?
we can answer it. We're
Go ahead,
not
Dylan.
excited to answer it, but we can obviously answer it. So, long story short, after everything started running, we had a failure on a gearhead. Got it repaired, got a gearhead back on, and not a month after gearhead number 3 was repaired, gearhead 2 blew up 2 weeks ago. So,
Okay, I mean, look. What century are we in? Dylan, I know this is not you. I'm just making a blanket statement, my man. It's just, to me, I change my own oil and brakes, but I'm not an engineer or a diesel mechanic. But I mean, this is the 22nd century. You know, we're in year 2021 over here, and I can't figure out why we have stuff breaking. Are we putting oil in it?
listen,
Somebody throwing a crescent? I mean, I don't know.
look, we're studying to figure out whatever we can. Nobody's more frustrated with the station than I am. It's a nightmare, to say the least. Every
Three
time,
pumps, which one's running? All three? 1, 2, what?
1 and 3 are running right now.
Okay, at least we got something running. So
Yeah,
when is
we've
it-
always had 2 operational. We've never fell shy of 2, but it's a nightmare, to say the least.
And number 2, the vacuum truck. Did we test it out yet?
No, we haven't. We're working on the specs. We are completed with the specs as of today. We're waiting on one answer from Covington Sales, who's helping us out on the specs. Everything's ready to go. We should be going out to bid in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You'll see it on
Okay,
Central
because
Auction
even though
House.
I've requested that in the budget, and thank you, sir, and it's for the whole parish, I'd like it to be used for starters in District 4, just to try it out. Thank you.
Yeah, and look, we took a lot of time on this, Bo, just to give you a kind of update. When we're gonna spend that substantial amount of money, we wanna make sure we get everything we want. Look, we're even down to selecting the valves that are gonna go on this truck, because we don't want breakdowns, we don't want it, and obviously everything's gonna break, but we wanna increase the money we spending on this to make it worth our while.
You don't want any crescent wrenches thrown in the, in the
Very
vacuum.
good. Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Grove?
I don't know how much you've been brought up to speed. I know one of the residents reached out to parish president, and Aaron was working on this for the Nettie Richard area. Engineer says he designed the neighborhood to just be self-sufficient back in the day, you know, whenever they did it. Dug the big ditches on their own property. The neighbor, there's no swells that they took into consideration, and if there was natural runoff, I understand that, you know. But if we have an engineer saying that they can't take on any additional water, we should stop someone building culverts on their private land, rushing it to that area.
I'll say I'll say this, if I was an engineer and somebody came to me 10 years later, I would say, yeah, I didn't design for that either. So I don't know if we can go based just on that. Engineers are, in our stipulations and our requirements, they are required to accept any runoff that comes from neighboring properties or anything that flows through those existing ditches. So he would be tasked with that. I highly doubt that an engineer would design a subdivision where he wouldn't have enough freeboard to accept something as small as that ditch.
But any is different than bringing it faster with ditches. I mean, you gotta understand that argument, you know? If they got water pooling up behind their houses already, and then all of a sudden you're gonna bring it faster in a designated spot. There's 4 contractors that live on that street that are saying this. I mean, these people know what they're talking about, you know? So we need to discuss that some more.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, look, I'm very familiar with the project. I'm not sure if there's anything we can do to, I know it's not what you want to hear, but I don't think there's anything from a parish standpoint that we can go and address with this guy. If we do find it and there is a way, we're happy to do it, but
Okay.
at this
As long
point.
as you're looking at it.
Yeah,
like I said,
sure.
I mean, I took it about as far as I can, you know, but, okay, because I don't think they're gonna stop.
Because his property line borders a parish right away. It's, you know, and we've had a lot of discussion, this is almost the same thing as a cross street, you know? If a cross street ends on the property line and you own the neighboring property, who's to say you can't go on that property? You know, I do understand that there's a capacity issue here and it's not the same as a cross street, but.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dylan. All right, appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
I got one thing.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Chesson.
The fishing pier in Leeville.
Yes, ma'am.
Got a phone call that it was still barricaded off, but it has been repaired since the storm, and it is back up and running, and
Yes,
the
ma'am.
barricade has been removed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the Leeville Fishing Pier is up and ready to go.
Up and running, barricades removed, ready to
Awesome.
go.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Okay, that's it for department heads. We move to item O, discussion. As been the custom for the last several meetings, I'll allow each council member and the final parish president, if he has any last discussion, questions. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the pier, but she brought it up. But to fix that pier, you needed 3 quotes. So now where we at? Okay, I understand that. That's what took so long, because we needed 3 quotes, because it was just recently fixed, and something must have hit it because it knocked it off of a couple of pollen. But where we at with the annex?
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Daniel led me into what he thinks is a trap. So let's talk about that for a second. So we issued, or we should have issued a PO today to our maintenance contractor, Tommy Boudreau, with Norris and Boudreau to go demolish the annex. We did not need 3 quotes for that one because we used the maintenance contract. We went to Tommy to get to see if he would want to replace the fishing or fix the fishing pier, and that was a little bit above his wheelhouse, so he declined. He's working on the fencing, which was inside of his wheelhouse. That's why we went and get the 3 quotes for the fishing pier. So we should start demolishing the annex one day next week.
No, I'm not trying to trap you. You think I am, but I'll tell you the truth. We had to get 3 prices for the pier. Now, this maintenance contract, I supported that, thinking it would be good. But while I was sick, I sat down and I thought about it. What it does, this contractor, whether he's from Lafourche or not, I think he's from Shreveport, I'm not sure. Could be, that's where his business is from. What it's doing, he's getting all these little jobs, and we got quite a few contractors in the whole parish that's getting bypassed. They're not having a chance to bid on the job. And look, if you really want to think about it, think how many contractors we have in this parish. We got quite a few in South Lafourche. They got some in Lockport. I remember this guy Chauvin used to do a few jobs. I'm sure he's still around. I just think by doing this, you cut out all the local contractors. And when we need a tax pass, who do we go to? All the local contractors. But it's hard to get some work when you got this guy hired and everything's basically going to him and all these other contractors. Listen, they're hurting right now, man. They're hurting. Look at the job at the airport. You got a $32 million job under what they estimated because people need work. And I thought it was something good to try to get it done quick. But it's not. That's just my opinion. And I just don't think it's fair that we can't get people to bid on this project. How much is it gonna go for? I know there's a limit that you have to bid something out on the limit. That's gonna be a good chunk. Way more than the pier, and we had to get 3 prices. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not arguing, I'm just telling you how I feel, because these contractors are gonna still be around in 2-3 years.
And look, Daniel, all those local contractors had the option to bid on the maintenance contract. I mean, we bid out West 55th, you know, these local contractors had the right to bid on that.
I got
Some do,
an
some
idea.
don't.
Just like you got a list of lawyers, why can't you have a list
I wish,
of contractors?
I wish.
Because if this contractor can't do the job, you can get another one that's on the list. I don't see why you can't do that.
I mean, it's kind of like the maintenance, or not the maintenance, but the material bids too, right? Where we bid out limestone and diesel and DEF and oil and lubricants and all that fun stuff. Sometimes you get a guy who's right here in town, sometimes you get a guy who's not right here in town, right? Just, you know, that's one of the downplays of actually having a seal bid something, because you never know what you're gonna get.
My opinion, I voted for it, and I don't think it's right.
Thank you, Ms. Lorraine. Ms. Chesson?
Yeah, I have a little bit to say tonight.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so I had a phone call from Sabrina, the pharmacist manager at Walmart in Galliano. She's asking me to announce that the Walmart in Galliano pharmacy is now doing COVID vaccinations. You go to walmart.com/COVID vaccine, hit schedule now, and you pick Galliano. You can pick your time and your day. It's the Moderna shot, 2 shots, 28 days apart. Saturdays, they're doing manual scheduling on the Saturdays. So if you can't do it online on the internet, you can go in on Saturday and schedule it with them in person. I also want to say that it was reported to me that there aren't any lights on the cutoff water tower. On the 308 side, that is being addressed with Lafourche, with the water district. That's going to be taken care of. So I just wanted to make that known to everyone that is being taken care of. I want to say happy birthday to Mr. Jim Wendell. And happy birthday to our son, Carlin Chasson. He turned in 33 today.
Hey,
So we're going to take him out to celebrate later. And that's all I have. Thank y'all.
very good.
El Paso. Taking Carlin, but you can come, Jim.
Thank you, Ms. Chesson. Mr. Garver, you have anything?
Yes, as a interim councilman of District 6, I'd like to remind the constituents, there's a vote March 20th, which is 11 days from now, for the District 6 councilman position. Pick a candidate of your choice, and we're trying to get everybody to get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garver. Mr. Melvin?
Yes, sir. I wanted to thank the parish president and his staff, as well as Mr. Mike Trahan, for doing the work behind Wilson. We've been trying to do some real work back there since the last administration, which it was a landowner issue, different landowner back then. It's nice to see us having a little humor in the midst of progress, because last administration we didn't have much humor at all, and we did have some progress. But lastly, I don't hold any ill will towards folks about this, but there's something going on in D.C. that might affect us here, as it usually does. And I just want people to be more educated about the Equality Act, because to me it's about as equal as the Affordable Care Act, and a lot of people aren't familiar with it. And I think the tip of the iceberg is putting biological male in a female bathroom with my daughter, wife, and children, and mom, and what have you. And I don't know if anybody has their hands up that want to say they want a biological male in the bathroom with their child, but I sure don't. But again, I just want people to be educated about what's happening. And again, it's just very concerning.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Grove?
I have a quick question on the proposed ordinance, number 10, about the coroner's office staff, the increase in salary. That was just missed last time?
So he actually, Dr. King did not actually put any salary increases in this, like when we met with him about his budget. He realized after the fact, and we kind of did too, that we missed their 2% COLA for his smaller staff. So we're going back and correcting that.
And so in your summary, you put like for all, it's not really all, not every parish employee got a 2% raise, like the part-timers that may work at a park or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the only, and I don't think there's anything, and Savannah, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's a mechanism for part-timers. I mean, we can, that's.
The board.
Yeah, that's gonna be something for, because the rec district employees are rec district board employees, and I understand in one particular instance, there
Yeah.
is no board. But I think that's something that we're gonna have to correct in the civil service manual write-up, where we can touch those part-timers as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wendell? No, sir. Mr. Adams?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I want to thank, you know, I guess it was the, Mr. Jeromino, what's the department? Solid Waste for, I guess, because they sent somebody out to Greenscape to clean out Lord Valley, and I'd like to thank Greenscape for sending the 3 people they did, because they did a fantastic job, and the whole community appreciates it. So thank you for that. And second part of that is stop throwing crap down there. And my second thing is I really want to look into the esports thing, because I think a lot of kids, you know, can't compete in sports, and that would really help them. And like I said, Nichols has a team, so you can work with them to try to get something going.
Mr. Jones? Mr. President?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things. One, I think I mentioned this to you guys in an email. We've been sending you the updates from FEMA and the number of constituents who have signed up for assistance post-Zeta. The last data register for that assistance is March the 15th. It reminded me Mr. Jones asked for some information today from one of his constituents, or somebody who had reached out to him. So if they do try to apply after the 15th, there are going to be a couple of hoops we have to try to jump through. So if you do have any last-minute damage from Zeta, please go out and do that. As Councilwoman Chesson alluded, the governor did drop the age for the COVID vaccines today. So 16 and over for the Pfizer, 18 and over for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, with a list of health conditions, which, let's face it, you're bound to have one of those health conditions in South Louisiana. The hospitals here, and I got to give kudos to our local pharmacies, Thibodaux, St. Anne, and Lady of the Sea, for stepping up and helping us with first responders and teachers and everybody who has been on the list so far. We haven't had to do the big mass vaccine sites like you've seen in other parishes, because they have stepped up and really taken care of the people here. So I want to say a huge thank you to them. While we're talking about HMGP and FEMA, we're still waiting on the approval letter from Hurricane Barry's funding. You guys approved about $861,000 worth of money we should get from them. Dylan and his team worked really hard on putting together a suite of pump station improvements to use that money on. So as soon as we get the approval from that, we're going to get an engineer set up, put our match together, and really start to chase down that contract. Daniel, just so you know, the light poles to the Veterans District were delivered to them on the 4th of this month. So we're going to be good to go. And Dylan mentioned it, but I really want to give him props and the team from GIS. Those 3 watershed applications that you guys approved tonight took a tremendous amount of work for us to try to get them in on time. And through server failures and emails going down and a whole bunch of back and forth, those guys were able to pull it off and give us a couple of pretty good projects that I think we're going to be able to get funded through that program. And finally, Mr. Chairman, I know you're going to know him very well. Just take a moment to remember Mr. Chunky Trish, who passed away yesterday. Was a great guy for the town of Lockport and meant a lot to a lot of people. So our condolences to his family. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I'll follow up with Chunky Trish did pass away. He had a medical incident Friday and ultimately succumbed. But yes, he was an alderman for the town of Lockport and a huge advocate for the town, and actually was highly instrumental in the whole development and building up of the Bayou Side Park. That was kind of his treasure right outside his front door. So thank you for that. I also want to thank the coroner's office. That those employees, I just want to let you know y'all are not forgotten, although I'm sure most of us would like to forget them. But have unfortunately do have to work with them occasionally, as recent as last week, so they're not forgotten, and thank y'all for what y'all do. I also want to tell T-Boo that I did take to heart the email that you sent on esports, and the recreation district with the new community center certainly is going to have stressed funding as they continue to develop the ballparks, et cetera, but they have the facility there to do esports, especially if they could partner with Nichols. So I think that would be a great investment, and it would certainly hit an important group of kids. The last thing I have before I ask for adjournment is I'm happy to report that the Lockport Food Festival is now scheduled for April 16th, 17th, and 18th, based on the governor's latest proclamation, which does now once again allow fairs and festivals. So it's been 2 years, basically, since we've had festivals, if you will, because if you go all the way back to the year before when we had it, skip a year, et cetera, so about 2 years. So I'm happy to report April 16th, 17th, 18th, the Lockport Food Festival, La Fête du Monde, will take place. Of course, we'll have COVID protocols, planning on having rides. The ride companies, believe it or not, the ride companies have never stopped. Max Amusements, the guys that we use, they've actually been in Dakotas and having fairs basically all through COVID with their particular COVID protocol. So they're coming in pretty experienced. But anyway, with that said, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. So moved by Mr. Gross, second by Mr. Melvin, that we adjourn because there is no further business. Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of March 9th, 2021 at 1904 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0.